everybody. Sorry, I was practicing something back there. I didn't realize I'd gone on a couple minutes too long, so sorry about that. Good morning, good morning, good morning on this rainy day, although I must say I really love thunderstorms, so it makes me happy. I turned it down too much. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Sorry, I hopped on a minute late there. If you have a block or even a sturdy pillow, that might be helpful. Strap of some kind, a regular yoga strap or a stretchy band or scarf, anything like that would be helpful. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Just saying, yeah. If you want to have a sturdy chair next to you, sometimes that's nice too for balancing pose. A chair, table, your desk, whatever. Yep. We'll get started here in just a minute. Hi, Paige. Hey, everybody. Great to see you again. Just if you've got some props, sometimes that can be helpful. A block, a sturdy pillow, a sturdy chair and or desk, table, whatever, a strap of some kind. I may remember to use all of them today. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. That music, I can never tell if it's too loud enough. All right, hey, good morning. All right. Good to see everybody this morning. I'm gonna start seated as normal. Whew. It's been a week, huh? It's been a week. I am so glad you're here and so glad to be able to be with you virtually today. So as usual, we're gonna start with some just normal, easy breath, do a little bit of stretching, make our way up to standing, and then go through a few kind of traditional poses. Do a little bit more stretching today at the end, and then at the end, our relaxation where we get to lie down and just soak it in. So you want to get comfortable on your sits bones. So you want to really feel those bony parts of your pelvis down into the mat. Feel free to have your eyes open or closed here. Either one is great. I like to close my eyes when I do my stretches. Feeling connected down into the mat, really allowing our spine to be nice and straight. Thinking about the neck lengthening just a bit, the crown of the head reaching up for the sky. And just enjoying some easy, natural breaths for a bit. Just checking in with the body, taking some time to notice how the body feels this morning. Any places that are especially tense or tight. I know I've got right between my shoulder blades, I've got some tightness there. I'm hoping to get that stretched out a bit this morning. Making sure that any of those places that we notice, we get lots of room, lots of breath this morning. Noticing where we feel the breath in the body. And beginning to move into our slow, full breath. With each inhale, notice the heart lift. Feel the rib cage expand to make room for the lungs. We want to push the belly button out away from the spine. Even think about reaching the rib cage out to each side. And with each exhale, slowly squeezing the air back out, pulling the belly button back to the spine, feeling the ribs snug up against the lungs. A slow, full inhale and a slow, full exhale. Using, if we like, that ujjayi breath, that soft, fluttering breath at the back of the throat. We can do that if you like, you don't have to. But if you like to try that, with your mouth closed, make the ah sound as you inhale and the ha sound as you exhale. Sometimes having that soft noise to help us focus on our breath really can help us stay in the moment when our minds get busy during our practice, as they often do. Moving through some gentle neck stretches with an inhale, lift the heart, lift the crown of the head. As we exhale, turn your face to the left. On your next inhale, come back forward, lift the heart, lift the crown of the head, and exhale, turn towards the right. Inhale, come back forward, lifting up. Exhale, gently let your left ear drop to your left shoulder, and then draw the right shoulder down away from the right ear, and then gently draw the left shoulder blade down the back of the scalp. Just breathing all along the right side of the neck, down into the shoulder, trying to let those tight muscles release a bit. And then on an inhale, lift back up. And exhale, let your right ear drop to your right shoulder. Draw the left shoulder down. And again, gently draw the right shoulder down. Slow, steady breath. And then on an inhale, lift all the way back up. Exhale, very gently let your chin drop to the chest without forcing it down. Just stay where it feels like a pleasant stretch. And then on your next inhale, lift your right ear up to the sky. And if you like, you can stay right here or very gently move your head around if that feels good. Do whatever feels best to you. And then on an exhale, release your face straight back down. And inhale, lift the left ear up to the sky. Again, staying still if you like, or very gently moving your head around if you like. And then on your next exhale, release the face straight back down. Inhale, slowly lift the head as we do that. Roll the shoulders all the way up to the ears, and then exhale, stretch the shoulder blades down the back. All right, let's do our side stretches. So your left fingertips out to the side, so just the fingertips on the floor or the mat, straight up from your shoulder. With an inhale, reach the right hand straight up to the sky, really stretch. And as we exhale, fold over a bit, flattening the left hand onto the mat, really strong muscles in the left arm. And we're reaching up high where the wall meets the ceiling. So we're not trying to go sideways here, really trying to enjoy that long stretch from the right hip all the way up through the right fingertips. And then on your next exhale, allow the left elbow to bend as far as you like. Keep reaching for that high corner and press the right hip down into the mat. On an inhale, lift straight back up. Exhale, release the right fingers down. Inhale, left finger straight up, really stretch. And then exhale, come over to a flat right hand, strong right arm, reaching for that opposite high corner. And on an exhale, allow the right elbow to bend. Keep reaching for that high corner, pressing the left hip into the mat. On an inhale, lift straight back up. And exhale, release. Great job. All right, extend your legs, give them a bounce. and then we'll move into our forward fold. So here we want our feet out. You can't see me. I can see my feet. Your feet out about an arm's length away from your hips. So we're not pulling our feet in close here, but they're out a ways from our hips. All right? We're working on keeping a straight back as we fold over, at least at first. So with our hands right in front of our hips, roll the shoulders back. We want to squeeze the shoulder blades together here like they're holding onto a bright, shiny penny. Take a big inhale, lift your heart. As we exhale, begin to walk the hands forward. Keep squeezing the shoulder blades. Try to keep the back straight as long as you can. And then when you are ready, go ahead and let your back curve over. Reach your hands out away from your feet. Let your head relax, but don't force yourself down here. Enjoying the stretch along the back, the neck, into the hips. This is a place, if you like, if you've got blocks, you could always put them underneath your knees to help support the knees here. All right, keeping your head and your torso relaxed. Slowly walk hands over towards the left, making sure that we keep our hands supported somewhere. If we're up a little higher, that's no problem. We just don't want our hands to be reaching out into space. We want them to be supported on the floor or on our legs. Slowly walking hands back to center, and then we'll walk them over towards the right. Slow, steady breath. And then slowly walk hands back to center. As we begin to rise up, walk the hands back over the feet towards the hips. Squeeze the shoulder blades together here. Really work on trying to keep the back nice and straight. You come all the way back up, roll the shoulders up, stretch them down, extend the legs, give them a bounce. All right, we're going to move through a few different things here on hands and knees. Lots of options if you would rather not be on hands or knees. So we're going to do cow-cat, the spinal balance, and our sunbird. So let me show you no hands and knees version for all three of those. So for cow-cat, we're simply here, and as we come into our sway back cow, we lift the heart, look up, and then exhale, arch the back into cat. So that's the version for no hands and knees. For our spinal balance, we'll be pushing one heel forward, and when those when are on hands and knees, we'll push the heel back and the fingers forward. But for no hands, no knees, push one heel straight forward and one hand sort of back at an angle. You can, if it's all right on that wrist, give yourself some support if you want to do it that way. You can also come all the way down onto your elbow. That's a little more work on the core. Okay, and then for our sunbird, for those of us who are not on hands and knees, we can come into on our side with knees at basically a 90-degree angle. And then we're going to pull the top toes towards the knee. And then for the rest of us might be lifting, we're going to reach back, lift the heart, and then exhale, draw together, pull the knee towards the head. We're going to turn a bit to reach our forehead towards the knee. All right, so that's the version for not doing any hands and knees. If you want to be on hands and or knees and hands, come on up to all fours. Here, if knees are okay, but wrists are not so great, you can always come up onto fists if you're taking care of your wrists, or come on down to forearms, elbows directly underneath the shoulders. Any of those are great for these three exercises. So those three modifications are, if you don't want to be on hands or knees, this is if knees are okay, but wrists are feeling tender, you're taking care of. So for our cow-cat, really want to make sure we're stacking our joints. So our wrists or our fists or our elbows are directly underneath our shoulders. Our knees are directly underneath our hips. We want our knees to be only as wide as the joints of the hips. So hips width apart. So they're not wide here. There's that soft outside part. They're right underneath the joints. They're not right next to each other. They're really just as wide as the joints of the hips, right? Moving through some cow-cat. With an inhale, let the belly drop. Lift the heart. Look forward as we exhale. Tuck the tailbone. Pull the belly button up, arching into cat. So inhale to sway back, cow. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, pull the belly button up, arching into cat. Moving with your breath, nice and slow. Remember, our breath is the most important thing about our practice. Not about doing anything perfectly, or just the way I'm doing it, or we've seen anybody else do it. Using our full breath. Last cow-cat. And coming back to a neutral spine. Moving through our spinal balance. With an inhale, reach your right finger straight forward, the left heel straight back. So here we're really trying to keep our heels back and not up. So I know I have the advantage of seeing myself on the screen. But one thing you can do is look back. You want to see that your toes are only about 6 or 8 inches up off the floor. Looking straight down at the mat, really trying to stretch, pushing back with the heel, reaching forward with the fingertips, and on your next exhale, come back to all fours, whatever version you are in. On our next inhale, reach the left finger straight forward, the right heel straight back. For those of us on us who are sitting, we're pushing through the right heel, reaching up and back a bit with the fingers. On your next exhale, release back down. We're going to flow that movement twice on each side. Inhale, reach the right fingers and left heel away from each other, really stretch. And exhale, come back. Inhale, reach the left fingers, right heel, away from each other, and come back. One more time on each side. Coming back to all fours. Great job. All right, we're going to do our sunbird. Again, you can be on hands, fists, down on elbows, or down on your side. All right, so first, if you're on your side, come on to your, well, actually, you can do either side because we're going to do both sides. So just come on to one side. And then if you're on your side, keep your knees bent. And everybody pull the, I'm using the left foot. So pull the left toes towards the left knee. And then pull the left heel up to the left hip. Move your weight over to your lower right side if you're on hands and knees. On an inhale, lift the left heel, look forward just a bit. Exhale, push the floor away, draw the forehead and knee together. So moving with your breath, nice and slow. Again, if you're on your side, you're on your right side here. As you crunch, you're turning the head a bit. Right? Moving through one more on this side. And coming back to neutral, whichever version of neutral. And then if you're on your side, turning onto your left side, we're all going to do our right side. So pulling the right toes to the right knee, the right heel up to the right hip. Moving your weight over to your lower left leg. On an inhale, lift the knee, look forward a bit. Exhale, draw together. Push the floor away. Inhale, lift. Exhale, draw together. So if we're on our side, we want to feel that stretch in the quad and feel some crunch. Last one on this side. Coming back to your version of all fours, whatever that is. All right, we're gonna rest back in child's pose for just a bit and then move through some Yogi Push-Ups. For those of you who are taking care of your wrists and prefer not to do push-ups, you can simply hold in a plank, a forearm plank, either a full or kneeling forearm plank. All right, for those joining in push-ups, with an inhale, lift the heart, bring the shoulders all the way forward over the wrists. Again, if you can also work this with your fist if you prefer, or just come on down to a version of plank if you're not doing push-ups. For push-ups, our hands are underneath our shoulders, fingers are spread wide. We want to make sure we tuck the tailbones, we don't come down with the sway back. Really tuck the tailbone under, lift the heart, pull all the muscles in from the rib cage to the hips, pull them back to the spine. Take a big inhale. As we exhale, reach the heart forward, press the elbows into the side of the body. Make sure the shoulders don't go any lower than the elbows. Inhale, lift it back up. And exhale, come back into child's pose. Moving with our breath, inhaling forward, tuck the tailbone. Exhale, reach the heart forward, press the elbows in. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale back. Moving through a couple more of these, nice and slow, with your breath. Doesn't matter if you don't go down very low here. We're gonna keep the hips up off the mat. So even if we just go a little bit, that's just fine. What we don't want is the hips sinking down to the floor. It's gonna really strain our low back. Finishing up your last Yogi push-up, wherever you are, or finishing your plank. Let's all come back into child's pose. Feel free here to maybe circle your wrists. Those of us who've been on wrists, that could maybe stand some stretching, or even if you haven't been, that can feel good. All right, we're gonna get ready to come up into Dolphin. So lift the shoulders up, and then we're gonna bring our forearms back down onto the mat. So now the elbows are underneath the shoulders. Interlace the fingers, and that bottom pinky tucks all the way under. Looking back at your toes, bring your toes as wide again as the joints of the hips, maybe this time a little wider. That can feel a little more stable as we come up into Dolphin. Tuck your toes as far forward as you can get them. Take a big inhale. As we exhale, let the weight come onto the forearms, push away with the forearms and the toes to lift the hips up into Dolphin. Your heels are not going to be anywhere close to the mat, probably, at least mine aren't. Really lift the kneecaps. Stretch the shoulder blades away from each other here. So first, we were squeezing them together. Now we want to stretch them away from each other. Slow, steady breath. If you need to rest your knees and come back up, that's no problem. I'm definitely feeling how tight the backs of my legs are this morning. Slow breath. Really keeping the kneecaps lifted up towards the hips. We'll tighten the quads and we'll try to help relax the backs of the legs a little bit with that. Slow, steady breath. All right. Release the knees down to the mat. And we're going to come up into down dog. We're going to be there for a little bit. Feel free to come back up into Dolphin instead if you're taking care of your wrists. So for downward facing dog now, the hands are on the mat, out just a tiny bit in front of our shoulders. Toes are still tucked as far forward as we can get them. Take another big inhale. As we exhale, push the floor away, lift the hips up into downward facing dog. I usually have to kind of wiggle and move around and adjust to get to a place that feels comfortable. Feel free to do that yourself. You don't have to land perfectly the first time. That's pretty unusual anyway. Again, we're still lifting the kneecaps, stretching the shoulder blades away from each other, focusing the weight of our hands where the thumb and the first finger meet the palm. We want our fingers spread wide, but we don't want to spread our thumb too wide. So our thumb is kind of at a natural distance away from our first finger, but the fingers are spread as wide as we can get them. Slow breath. On an inhale, lift the right heel up to the sky. Really push here. Again, you can be in Dolphin and that's just fine. Try to keep the hips squared to the mat. On an exhale, bring the right foot back down. On your next inhale, lift the left heel up to the sky. Really push through the heel. And bring it back down. Great job. Look forward, walk forward to the top of your mat into a forward fold. Feet come just hips distance apart. Let the knees really be bent here. Let your head relax. Push down through the feet. Reach the fingertips out to the side, stretching them away from each other. On an inhale, slowly come all the way back up. Keep reaching through the fingertips, pushing down through the feet. Hands come above, and then down to heart center. And we'll just breathe here. Great job. Let's just do some forward folds. Inhale, sweep the hands out and up. Really stretch through the fingertips. Look at your thumbs. As we exhale, arms go wide. Lead with the heart as we sweep down to the floor. Push through the feet. Inhale, arms out to the side. Come all the way back up. And then exhale wide, come back to heart center. Really stretch. Let's do that one more time. Inhale all the way up. Reach through the fingertips all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Lead with the heart. Push through the feet. Inhale, come all the way back up. And exhale, bring hands together back to heart center. Whew. Yay. All right, let's do some hip circles. I've also been sitting in front of the computer too much. So here we're going to really think about circling the hips. So not just sort of bending over, but really moving the hips in a circle. If you were here last week, I think I talked about how birds, chickens especially, can keep their head in one place and move their body. That's kind of what we're talking about here, right? So we're going to go both directions, so it doesn't matter which directions you start with. Take an inhale, reach back. Exhale, start to circle forward. Inhale when you come back. And exhale forward again. Really trying to move the hips themselves, not just bending over. Trying to keep your head basically where it is in space, like a cute little chicken. And then we're just going to go the other direction. Inhale back, fill those lungs. Exhale forward. Yes, great. Coming back. Woo, that does feel so good. All right, we are going to move into a pyramid. If you have a block handy, that's great. You can use it. You can even just use your chair, the back or the seat of the chair. So if you have a block, bring it to the front of the mat or maybe use your chair. So we're going to start in our mountain pose, feet hips distance apart, coming towards the front of the mat. Stepping the right foot straight back. Let's actually start. Now we're just starting in that pyramid. All right, so the left foot is forward, left toes are pointing straight to the front of the mat. The right heel is back. Right toes are pointing roughly 45 degrees forward. We just don't want those toes facing 90 or more, because that'll really torque your knee and your hip. So we want the toes to be facing roughly forward. Here we're really lifting the kneecaps, really keeping our legs strong, trying not to completely lock that front knee though. There's a tiny little bend in our knee, almost so you can't tell, but it's just not locked. With the hands on the hips, take an inhale, exhale, reach the chest forward. As we do that, press the shoulder blades together. We're working to keep our back straight. So some of us, just because of our anatomy, it can be hard to really keep our back straight here and go parallel with the floor. So that's all right. You don't have to be parallel. We really want to focus on squeezing the shoulder blades together. So maybe that right here, that's about as far as you can go. That's no problem. That's perfect. All right. We can work towards going more parallel with the floor if we like. Really focusing on squeezing the shoulder blades together. All right. If you've got a block, you can hang on to it now with your right hand. You can also just reach forward, hold on to a chair or an ottoman or whatever you've got in front of you. All right. If you're using your block, you can use it at any height that you like. I'm feeling very tight today, so I'm going to use this tall version of my block. First, we're going to do a twist here, but first we really want to stretch the spine. So as we are here, we're reaching the tailbone back, reaching the crown of the head forward. The left hand stays on the waist for now. Take a big inhale, really stretch. And as we exhale, begin to turn the chest to the left. So here we want to keep our left hand on our waist for now. If we like, we can reach our hand up away from our shoulder, but we really want to make sure that we're not feeling any stretch on the front of that shoulder. So if your chest is not quite fully turned, again, that's just fine. We just want to match our arm to the top of our shoulder blades as far as how that looks, how that feels. So if our chest is not fully turned, we don't want to try to reach up to the sky because that'll be really torquing the shoulder. So wherever your chest is, it's like your arm is just an extension of your shoulder blades, of your chest. You don't want to feel a lot of stretch on the front of the shoulder. We're going to work on keeping the twist in our waist and not in our knees or our hips. Slow, steady breath. On an exhale, release the hand back to the waist if it was there. Turn back towards the top of the mat. Move the block out of the way. And we're going to step forward into a fold at the top. Push through the feet. Inhale, arms out to the side. Slowly come all the way back up. Hands together. And then down to heart center. And we'll do that on the other side. All right. So now our right foot stays forward. Our left foot steps back. Right toes facing straight to the front of the mat. Left toes at about a 45-degree angle. Lifting both kneecaps up towards the hips. In fact, imagining we're pulling all the muscles from our feet all the way up the legs into our hips to keep those legs strong. Hands on the hips. Take an inhale. Exhale, be reaching the heart forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Keep lifting the kneecaps. Again, if we stay right here, that's great. If we come a little lower, that's also fine. We want to keep our head in line with our spine. So we don't want to be reaching down with the crown of our head here. Keep the neck nice and straight. Ooh, I'm really feeling tight on the back of that right leg this morning. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Slow, steady breath. Thinking about reaching the heart, the sternum forward and down. And then grab onto that block or chair. You can just hold on to the chair too, that's fine. If you have a block or a stack of books, a nice big sturdy book, placing our left hand there, keeping our right hand on our waist for now. Stretch the spine first, thinking about reaching the tailbone back, the crown of the head forward. Take an inhale. And as we exhale, turn the chest to the right. Working on keeping the twist happening in our waist. So our hips are still facing straight forward. Keeping the head in line with the spine so we're not reaching down or reaching up with our head. And then if you like, reach your arm away from your shoulder. Again, thinking about the arm being an extension of your chest, an extension of your shoulder blades. So if your chest is not, if your chest is facing more towards the floor, that's just fine. You can still stretch your arm out away. Just make sure, again, you're not feeling much stretch at all on the front of your shoulder, because that's an indication that you're overstretching those ligaments, and we don't want to do that. Slow, steady breath. Bring your hand back to the waist if it's up. Turning back down towards the mat. Move the block forward and step forward into a fold at the top of the mat. Push down to the feet. Reach the fingers out to the side. Slowly come all the way back up. Hands together. And back down to heart center. All right, moving through some sun salutations. As with last week, I'm going to cue the kneeling version. Feel free to do the standing. I'll cue for the standing as well. It basically means a full lunge and down dog and a full plank and crocodile rather than kneeling lunge, child's pose, kneeling plank and crocodile. Okay? So from the top of our mat. Inhale, sweep the hands out to the side. Reaching all the way up, really stretch, stretch, stretch. As we exhale, forward fold, lead with the heart. Let the knees be bent a little bit here. We're going to hang out in this forward fold, enjoy that stretch. Maybe it's just me, but I'm needing that stretch in my legs. Too much sitting. With an inhale, we're going to come up to a flat back, sort of halfway. So here we want to make sure our hands are supported somewhere. They can be lower on the ground, that's fine, but we're really, again, looking for a straight back. So we're trying not to be curved over here in our back, but straightening the spine, squeezing the shoulder blades together. On an exhale, release all the way back down to the floor. With an inhale, step the right foot back, and exhale, release the knee to the mat. I like to have the top of my foot on the mat, but for you, keeping the toe tucked might be more comfortable. Pushing down with that front left foot and the lower left leg, or just the balls of the feet if we're standing. Inhale, reaching all the way up to our kneeling lunge or full lunge. Really pressing down through the left foot, lower right leg, lifting the heart, reaching through the fingertips. As we exhale, hands come down, we step back into child's pose or downward facing dog. Breathing here. If we're in child's pose, hands are way out in front of us. Hands stay shoulders distance apart. Moving through our little quick yogi push-up with an inhale, lift the shoulders, bring them all the way forward over the wrist into our kneeling plank or full plank if we're up. As we exhale, reach the heart forward, press the elbows into the side of the body, keeping the hips up off the mat. And then we'll come all the way down to the mat, roll the shoulders back, staying either in cobra or coming up to full up dog, which means only our hands and the tops of our feet are on the mat. Really tightening our core, and then on an exhale, push back into child's pose or downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the shoulders or lift the right foot up to the sky. And on an exhale, bring our right foot forward into our kneeling or full lunge. So for kneeling lunge, our right foot is right underneath our right shoulder. Push down with the right foot, lower left leg, and inhale all the way up to kneeling or full lunge. Really enjoying that stretch. And on our next exhale, hands come down to the mat and step forward into a fold at the top of the mat. Push through the feet, reach the hands out to the side, come all the way up, hands together. And then we're going to sit down into chair and breathe in chair for a bit. In chair, we want our knees to be going the same direction as the toes. So we don't want knees together here or wider. Really want knees going straight, same direction as the toes are. The tailbone is tucked, so we're not here with the swayed back. Really tucking that tailbone under, but still lifting the heart. See if you can sit a little lower in your chair, more like those camp chairs. Good. Push through the feet, inhale all the way back up, hands together, and then exhale, hands wide back to heart center. And we'll do that on the other side. All right. From the top of our mat, inhale all the way up. Exhale, forward fold, leading with the heart. Inhale, come up halfway again to our flat back. Again, we're going to breathe here for a few breaths, really practicing our strong straight back. We're so much more bendy in our low back. We tend to want to kind of arch over here. We're really trying to get straight in that upper back, squeezing the shoulder blades together. On an exhale, release all the way down to the floor. With an inhale, step the right foot back. Exhale, release. Sorry, I said right. I apologize. I meant left. Sorry, left foot back. Left knee to the mat with our exhale. Push through the right foot, lower left leg, or ball with the foot if we're standing. Inhale, reaching all the way up to our lunge, either kneeling or full lunge. Kneeling or standing lunge, they're both a full lunge. On an exhale, hands come down, we step back into child's pose or downward facing dog. On our next inhale, floating forward to our plank, whichever version of plank we're doing, kneeling or full. As we exhale, make sure the tailbone is tucked, the heart reaches forward, press the elbows into the side of the body. Woo. Keep the hips up off the floor, and then come all the way down to the floor. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart into cobra, push down with the tops of the feet, or with the toes if we're in a full cobra. Full up dog, sorry. Hands come back down to the mat, pull everything into the spine, and then exhale, push it back into child's pose or downward facing dog. With an inhale, lift the shoulders or lift the left foot. Exhale, bring the left foot forward, just under the left shoulder. Push down with the left foot, lower right leg, and inhale up to either kneeling or standing lunge. On an exhale, hands come down to the floor, step forward into a fold. Push through the feet, inhale, arms out to the side, come all the way up, hands together, and exhale, we'll sit into chair. Again, knees are going the same direction as the toes, tailbone is tucked, shoulder blades are down the back and squeezing together, the heart is lifted. See if you can sit a little lower. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands together, feet together. We're going to come into our twisted chair. So come back down into chair. Doesn't have to be as high this time. It can be, doesn't have to be as low. That's what I meant to say. It can be if you like. All right, it's important that we have the knees together here. Squeeze the knees together. All right, your left hand over to your right leg. Reach that right hand back behind onto the hips. Squeeze the knees together. First, take a big inhale. As we exhale, turn just the chest towards the right. Really working to make sure our knees and our hips stay forward. We don't want to be doing this and twisting in our ankles or our knees. So the knees stay straight forward. What I like to think about this hand is keeping those knees facing forward, even as we're turning towards the right. On your next exhale, release forward. Woo, inhale up, shake out your legs. And come back down. All right, now your right hand over, left hand back, squeeze the knees first, take an inhale, and exhale. Turn towards the left. Really working to feel the twist happening at your waist, not in your hips, your knees, your ankles. And then on an exhale, release forward. Whoo, inhale up, shake out your legs. Yay. All right, let's come into some balancing poses. We're gonna do tree and then eagle. All right, so for tree, let's start on our right foot. Nice strong foundation on our right leg. Really spread those toes wide. Bring your weight over to your right side, but also your strength. Think about keeping that tiny little bend in your knee. We just don't want to stand with a totally locked knee. Tiny little bend. Find something to gaze at. It's not me, as you know, I'm wobbly. So find something on the floor or the wall that you can attach your gaze to. We're going to kickstand our left foot. You may want to stay right here, and that's great. You may want to use that chair to hold on to now, and that's also great. If you want to raise up a little higher, feel free to. You want to bring your foot up, make sure your heel finds a muscle and not your knee joint. So the heel should be above or below the knee. Either one is great. One is not better, as long as you're not pushing that knee sideways. If you want to, you can raise some branches up. And as always, your branches can look like whatever you would like them to look like, however high or low you would like them. Woo! It's windy in my kitchen today. So what happens when I take my gaze away from my point. Whew, I wobble. All right, hands back together. I'm gonna step back down. Good job. All right, other side. So now, solid foundation on the left foot, strong leg with a tiny little bend in it. Find your gazing point, might be different this time. Keeping the heart lifted, the core really pulled in, moving up as you like, or staying right where you are in this balanced tree. If you want to hold on to your chair, that's great. Making sure our heel finds a muscle and not our knee joint. Whew. That heel tends to slide. Raising branches up if you like. Slow, steady breath. Definitely wobbling today, feeling my muscles get stronger as we wobble. All right, hands together. Woo, step back down. Good job. All right, for eagle, arms are wide. We're going to do our legs first and then our arms. So we're going to lift that left heel and cross it over our right leg. You can have your ankles a little closer. You can have them up a little higher. It's as your anatomy wishes. All right, bringing hands towards each other. The right arm goes under, the left arm goes above. Backs of the hands together, or if you really want to be twisty, palms together. Take a big inhale. As we exhale, sit down into our eagle's nest. Squeeze the legs together, wherever they are. So the thumbs are basically pointing towards our face. We're going to try to keep the tailbone tucked here. If you want some stretch for your shoulders, you can lift your elbows and then push them forward. Slow down your breath. And on your next inhale, come back wide. Beautiful job. All right, other side. So now we're lifting that right foot, crossing it over, however high or low works for your anatomy. Bringing the arms together now. The right arm is above, backs of the hands or palms together as you wish. Take an inhale, squeeze the legs. Exhale, sit back down into our eagle's nest. Try to keep the tailbone tucked here so we're not carrying the weight in our low back. It's easy to want to sway the back and take the weight out of the legs, but we want the work in the legs and not our low back. Again, if you want to stretch your shoulders, lift the elbows, reach them forward. Woo. And on your next inhale, come all the way back to eagle. Beautiful job, beautiful job. Inhale, reach your hands straight up, release your belly. Exhale, tighten your belly, reach to the left. Inhale all the way up, release your belly. Exhale, tighten, reach to the right. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale, forward fold. Really enjoy this forward fold. Let your knees really be bent. Let your head relax. Your hands can be on the floor, on your legs. You can rest your elbows on your knees. You can hang on to your elbows with your hands. Very gently move your head side to side like no. And very gently nod yes. Relax your head completely. Release your hands down to the mat. Step back into child's pose for just a couple of breaths. Slow, steady breath. All right, we're going to come into this great shoulder stretch that I had kind of forgotten about until Ashlyn, who also teaches yoga at the rec center, did it on a class a couple days ago. Really great. So we're going to come all the way down to our bellies. See if I can do this here. Reach your left arm, I know you can't see it, but left arm straight out to the side, just perpendicular from your body. Now if you're taking care of your shoulder, you don't want to do this stretch. You don't want to twist in this very much, all right? This right here might be just enough shoulder stretch for you. All right, right hand just in front of the chest, and we're gonna push ourselves over on to our left side. Relax your head. So what you should be feeling here is some good stretch in the front of the shoulder, of the left shoulder. You can let your hips go as far back towards your left side as is okay with your shoulder, but don't push it. You want to feel a nice, pleasant stretch here. On an exhale, release back so the belly's on the floor, and we're just going to do it on the other side now. So the right arm goes straight out from the shoulder. Bring the left hand onto the mat, just in front of the chest. Push with that left hand and begin to roll over onto your right side. Let the head relax. Again, you can let your hips go back further towards the right if you want more stretch in your shoulder, but really we're just looking for a gentle stretch. On an exhale, release back down onto your belly. Do one more thing here. Keeping that right arm extended, going to bring it to a 90-degree angle onto the floor. And then we're going to bring that right leg up also into a 90-degree. So the right knee is out to the side. You can see, let me move back here. The right knee's out to the side. And we're relaxing down. It's almost like we're sort of hugging the floor. So our right arm is at an angle, 90-degree angle. Our right leg is also at a 90-degree angle. All right, move that right leg back. And we're just going to do that on the other side. I like to keep my both arms at 90-degree angles here. Bring the left knee up towards the left shoulder, the left elbow, and then turn the head to the left. All right, return the left leg straight. We're going to do one quick little Superman while we're here to stretch the back. So bring in the feet just a little bit wider than hips distance apart here. Reach the hands forward, and on an inhale, lift everything up. Push through the balls of the feet, really reach through the fingertips. Try to reach those legs up as high as you can. Try to have the thighs off the floor if you can. And then exhale, relax, bring the arms underneath the head, relax, relax, relax. All right, bringing the palms right next to the chest, push back up to all fours for just a bit. Just breathing here. And then let's come on down. It's my time on down to one hip. And extend the legs straight out in front of us. Go back a little bit further here again. All right. With our feet just hips distance apart, so not wider and not right next to each other, just as wide as the hip joints. Push through the heels, draw the toes back, roll the shoulders up to the ears, and then stretch the shoulder blades down the back like they're trying to get down to your back pockets, and keep stretching them down. Great, relax out of that. And let's do a side stretch. So reach your right leg out to the side, bring the left foot in. Right, we're going to turn towards our left knee first. If you want some more twist than what we've gotten so far, hang on to the left knee with the right hand. Or if you just feel like you want some long stretch, you just reach that right hand down. Inhale the left hand straight up, really stretch through the fingertips, and exhale, go straight sideways. So we're not trying to turn our face down or our chest down here. We're going to keep the chest facing forward. Reaching towards those toes. Keep pushing through your right heel. So those toes are pulling back. Really push through the heel. On an inhale, lift back up. And now we are going to turn towards our outstretched right leg. Hands on the leg. Take an inhale. As we exhale, reach the hands forward, folding over, letting the back curve. Letting your hands reach as far as you like. Letting the neck relax. I'm going to keep pushing through the right heel. And on the inhale, slowly come all the way back up, drawing the hands back to the hips, and we'll switch sides. So the left leg out, push through the left heel, bring the right foot in, turning towards the right knee. Again, holding on if you want that twist, or just reaching out. Inhale, the right hand straight up, and exhale, hinge over. Woo, I really still feel that tight muscle in the back of my glute and leg this morning, I must say. Really pushing through the left heel. Slow breath. Inhale, come all the way back up. And release, and now we'll get turned towards that outstretched left leg. Hands on the hips, keep pushing through the left heel. Take an inhale, hands on the leg rather. Push through the heel. Exhale, reach down, letting the back curve over. Let your head relax. Keep pushing through the left heel. Slow, steady breath. Keeping the hands on the legs as we slowly draw them back to sit up. Great job. All right, make sure there's plenty of room to lay down. Hold on to your knees. Give them a squeeze to the chest. Try to roll down nice and slow. And when you get down to the mat, do a little rolling side to side or front to back. And see, I didn't use the strap. Sometimes I remember and sometimes I don't. All right, we're going to press the soles of the feet straight up to the sky. Our arms next to our body, palms facing down. Really push through the heels. Keep pushing through both heels and slowly lower the right leg all the way down to the mat. Nice and slow. Really push through both heels. Push, push, push. We're going to protect our low back by keeping our core engaged, and pushing through the heels helps with that. Once the right leg is down, slowly lower the left leg all the way down. Keep pushing through both heels as we do that. And then once we're here, let's have a full body stretch. Point the toes. Reach the hands back behind. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Come out of the stretch. Do any more twisting or moving that you need that we didn't quite get yet today. And then once you've had what you need there, coming in to your relaxation. So for some people, just legs long on the mat, feet rolling open, feels great. For other people, it can feel nice to bring the soles of the feet back up onto the mat, wide to the side, letting the knees rest against each other. For others, they might like to bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees rest out to the side. Whatever relaxation pose you prefer, finding that. Allowing your eyes to close. Noticing how easily our breath moves back into its natural rhythm, and finding gratitude for that breath that is always there for us. So simple. Finding some gratitude for everything our amazing bodies can move us through. Whew. In an hour, in a week, in a month. Making space for any emotions that may come up for us as we relax. Honoring those places. Knowing that all those thoughts that are there, we don't have to change them or fix them or push them away. We can simply practice letting them be. Releasing our attachment to them. Just noticing them and letting them go. It's something we practice over and over again. Most of us will never get to the point where we can completely clear our minds, and that is okay. It is a practice. Allowing the muscles of the face to soften around the eyes and the cheekbones, around the jawline. Allowing the tongue to relax from the roof of the mouth. Muscles of the shoulders softening and settling into the mat. The muscles of the back letting go, melting down into the mat. The hips releasing, growing heavy, settling into the mat. All the muscles from the shoulders down, the arms, through the elbows, the wrists, the fingertips, letting go. The muscles of the hips, down the legs to the knees, the ankles, the toes, letting go. Settling into this moment. And then very gently beginning to bring ourselves back, just wiggling toes or fingers, maybe taking some deep breaths again. And then as you're ready, very gently turning onto one side and curling up for a few more breaths of relaxation. And then nice and slow, very carefully, beginning to make your way back up to a comfortable seated position. Nice and slow. Thank you all so much for being here this morning. It is truly a joy for me to be here with you and an honor. Thank you for taking time for yourselves. Thank you for taking care of yourselves. That which is good and light in me sees and honors that which is good and light in you. Namaste. Have a great rest of your day.